Okay, here we go. So we have Miss Bonni Cattiva over here. Say hello, Miss Bonni.
Hello, everybody. And finally,
Okay,
thank you for having me. Okay.
She said y'all gotta check her shoes out. Put 'em out there,
Okay,
girl.
Shady Boots. Shady
Yes,
Boots
for the
boutique.
shoes.
Okay, for the shoes. Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here we go. I am Feva Daniels, and this is Reality Talk. Reality Talk was brought to you guys really because at times in our life, we have at some point in all of our lives, we have been through some trials, some tribulations, some hardships, some pretty rough things, some things that we never in a million years imagined that we would get over and it will be underneath us. And at some point, we were able to push past the hurt, push past the pain, push past the trauma. We were able to push past those different things and still rise above, rise to the occasion, follow the path that was meant and laid out for us, and we find ourselves operating in our full potential. And even if you're not operating in your maximum potential, you're certainly not the person you used to be. Okay, so because of that, we were not her relics, that's my other company, but simply because of that, reality talk was birthed. Reality talk was birthed because we need to talk about it. We need to be able to have open discussions about things that has taken place in our lives. Oftentimes people look at successful people and they are giving us kudos, they're clapping their hands at us, they're giving us a big hoorah because they haven't the faintest idea what we're actually experiencing on the other side. We have just as much going on in our lives, the successful people of the world, as the people who are not necessarily unsuccessful, but has not reached that peak where they are at a higher level of potential, or as actually feeling like they are operating in a better side of them than what they had operated in the past. So because of that, reality talk was birthed. On this show, we will have all kinds of topical conversations. I'm extremely unorthodox, so I want to talk about things that are necessarily not the popular thing to talk about. We're going to talk about openly have rape and molestation conversations, but we would not be speaking to just the victims or the people that were victimized. We would be talking to the victimizers. We would be talking to the predators, the people that at some point was the person that caused the hurt, caused the dysfunction, the trauma, and the pain. Why do we want to talk to people like that? So we can get their side of the story. They never get a chance to tell their story unless they're behind bars, and by then everybody already has this extreme fist up against them. But right at this point, we want to let you guys know that those people are the people that you lay next to. Those people are the people that stay next door to you. Those people are the people that you are seeing and passing every day. They're everyday people. They just have some sicknesses that is attached to them. We will be talking to murderers, prostitutes, but just people that have backgrounds that is undesirable, that people really want to hear about, but don't necessarily openly. It's not a safe space created for them to tell their side of things, their story. So that brings us to our guest for today. We have Miss Bonni Cattiva. This lady is a wonder. She has gone through so many difficult times in her life from a very young age.
Yes.
And it brings us to where she is right now today. So we want to ask you, Miss Kativa, who was Bonni Cattiva?
To be honest, I did at first welcome everybody. Share.
Share.
Who was Bonni Cattiva?
Mm-hmm.
A survivor. Just a survivor.
Tell us about some of the things that you've experienced just being you.
Well, I would like to say, first starting off, where I don't know where to begin at with the age range, of things.
Start from the beginning.
But I'm just a survivor first off. I feel like the beginning is everything. And I don't know if I want to start off with what age or where I should begin.
Okay, so you want me to set you up?
Yeah, let's so I want to just tell you guys any old thing, and just be popping off at the mouth. I want to be honest, and give you guys valid points.
Let's set you up. Let's go back to the
your life.
Let's go back to the beginning, because this, her story is it's a true testament of how you go through the mud and come out victorious and a winner. And she really is here to inspire, set some souls on fire, and get you ready and pumped for your life, because your life, your yesterday didn't determine your today. You got up and you can get started. So let's start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the, a beginning topic. I have so much to say, but I don't know how to introduce it all to you guys with starting off on the journey that I come from. I'm raised in North St. Louis, the North Point, Walnut Park area. I've also been raised through the projects and streets, and also Southside areas just as well. I have stories about those things.
Give us an example.
Yeah, but I don't know where to begin with that, because I want to enlighten people on where I come from, and not confuse you all and go back and forth. So
let's do it like this. Let's talk about some of the rough things that you experienced just as a child, not even the teenage portion, but just as a child, what you can remember, some of the things that you've experienced in your life.
I would like to. It's so much I would like to say to you guys, but starting off it's a lot to put with that when we say these things, but my story was, I was born and raised from a schizophrenic. My mom, from the stories that I've heard, was she was a schizophrenic. Being at 19, I can see different things could have transpired in her life through to her illness, so I know that depression and sickness and things like that do occur in families. Some things are hereditary, some things are just they born that way or whatever have you. But I was the child, the firstborn of mama doing that. In the process of that, I've learned the ways of the streets. Ways of the streets is not it's some people could say, well, you learn from the streets and you go for it. I'm street smart and I'm book smart, but sometimes it's not a good thing, when you were a young child, trying to learn, trying to survive, trying to figure out.
To teach you bad habits.
Yeah, it's like your innocence is stolen, kind of, sort of, when you are a baby or you from 5, I say innocence was stolen. I remember a particular day, being 5, mom was struggling, really not finding herself. And I find this to be a lot of things that families go through when you have children and you're a mother. You don't search for help. A lot of people don't look for help. A lot of people can struggle with their kids and be a little stubborn and not search for the help or want to take that help because they want people to think that they can do it, So we lived in the projects. We were project kids. Mama was kind of rough, she was in her 20s, early 20s, and she just trying to survive, I guess going through the motions of life on her own terms, being a child, you don't understand these things. You just holding a hand and walking along. But at the same time, the streets are kind of teaching you street value, the good and the bad. So I found myself to be a survivor at the age of 5. I found myself to listen to the voice of God more than the street. At 5, I remember a particular day I was hungry, and it's like a mother and their cub. When you have a lioness, and she got her kids, eventually they gonna have to go off and find their own food. Eventually they have to go survive and find their own food. And I had to survive. And at 5, I remember telling a lady at this church, I was like, I'm hungry. I remember sitting on the floor waiting on mama to come to pick me up. And I was just like, I'm hungry. And she was like, you hungry? I was like, yeah. And she stood me up and she was like, I want you to go down these steps, go through this door, go down these steps to make a right. And then when you make a right, I want you to go and knock on the first door that you see. Now, remind you, I'm 5. I really didn't know too much about being alone, moving around, but I knew I had a mission to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
because mama gave you a mission.
Mama gave me a mission that was, it wasn't a supposed to be mission, but it's what I had to do. Mama wasn't there, so mama just didn't know at that time. So I remember walking down the steps and I knocked on the door and this real tall man came and he was like this pastor guy and he was just touching my head and he was like, you're a blessed child and you're wise and you're this and you're that. And I just didn't know what he was doing at the time. I didn't understand the value of those words at that time, but it stuck with me right now to this day. Yeah. The day that happened, I knocked on the door. I told him, I said, I'm hungry. The lady told me to come and I was just hungry. Now, remind me of a 5-year-old doing something like that. You got to be a conscious 5-year-old and you got to know how to follow directions to be able to do what you're doing at 5. And the man, he told me, he said, I want you to stand right here. I want you to stand right here. And he made me stand right there and I stood there too. I waited too because at first off, I'm hungry, so I want to see what you got, So I stood there. That man came back with this big old trash bag full. I mean, a trash bag full. The bag was so full, it looked like something I could get in. That's how big it was. It was just full, but I didn't look at it. I just was like, okay. I looked at him and I was like, okay, I'm going to take this with me then. So I just grabbed it and I dragged this bag all the way back to the projects. Now, when I dragged this bag back to the projects, I didn't realize the distance in taking this bag, from one place to the next. As a child, to me, it's just like when you ride in the car walking with mama, it's a skip and a jump, but now I'm at this age, I was like, oh crap, that was a long way. So I'm walking a couple of blocks, dragging this bag, I get to the place and it's dark in there. It's a bunch of kids around and they just sitting around at this oven. And my mom is at this oven and she's cooking some type of food. I don't know what it was. She was cooking some type of food. And it was like 10 kids sitting on the floor, like 10 kids. I came dragging this bag into the kitchen. And I set it on the floor. And she looked at that bag and she was like, Bonnie, calling my name, just calling my name. She was like, what's this bag? And me, personally, I didn't know what was in the bag. I just knew the man told me to take it, to take it on with me. That lady opened up that bag. It was so much food in that bag. So much food that I could have fed the projects. Okay. That's how much food was in this bag. Like I could have literally fed the projects. And mom was just screaming and hollering, and she was just, oh my God. And she was like passing out food to all the kids, and then they was just like, yay, they was just getting this food, and they was just doing everything. And all I could do was my pride some kind of way as a 5-year-old was just like, wow, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Like I fed them people, you know what I'm saying? I fed them. And my mom, she was like, well, she was like, you want to eat? And I was like, no, just feed my sister. I had one sister, and I was like, just feed my sister. And I remember that day. It was a dark time, being a child and having to walk those roads with your mother or with your parent when they're lost, or suffering with depression or sicknesses within themselves. It does become a burden on your babies. You know what I'm saying? It becomes an effect to them.
You have to almost take care of them while they supposed to be taking care of you.
While they supposed to be taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes more of a protection thing than you being a child. If you walked in where I was going, with her, because I knew that mentally it was something, like I could feel her. Like I knew that mentally something was going on, but I was just like, okay, we're just going through the motions. But then when I would see her do things, and I will be smart enough to just be like, I gotta protect them, like I have to protect them. I have a mother and I have a sister. I have to protect them, because she kind of getting us in a little danger, what I'm saying, at certain times. And it became to the point to where I no longer felt like a kid.
Yeah.
I no longer felt like I had on a damn pull-up once upon a time. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was wearing grown people's shoes at an early age, and I had to learn how to adapt and maneuver up. Everybody is innocent starting off. The world creates the monster or the innocent or whoever they choose. The environment is they create that.
So tell me about Bonni as a teenager.
I was open to change, open to new beginnings, open to understanding, but at the same time I had street value. I didn't never as a gang member. First off, at first it was a joke.
So tell us about that part.
Being
the gang member.
Yeah, being a teenager, being self-sufficient. First off, when you got to get up and eat. If mama's not capable of doing things, first and foremost, this to go beyond before this, with my mother before that, she just became, she was a hurt person. And I try to teach people, well, like my family, my sisters and my cousin, I try to teach them that our parents are hurt too.
Yeah, they're human.
They're human too. They have to grow too. They have to learn things too. It's a lot of people who have been neglected on learning how to love. People haven't been taught compassion, true understanding, true kindness, forgiveness in the heart, to be able to move forward within themselves. They beat up on themselves. People beat up on themselves because they're not able.
To their babies. They beat up on them as well.
They beat up on them as well. A hurt person hurts people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, regardless of the age, they hurt people because they don't have a outlet on somewhere where they can go, or they're just stubborn and they just don't want the outlet. And dealing with that, and dealing with a mother who was depressed and having a mental disability, it was very hard. Suffering from suicide, as I can watch my mother, and I could be in another room, and then in a blink of an eye, the ambulance is, I'm walking in the room and I see her bleeding all over the place. You know what I'm saying? From trying to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, being a child, not understanding where is the pain, you know what I'm saying? Because even your children can't make you happy. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be something else, and the root within on what's going on. And I had to find compassion in that early, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of if I was a child that didn't receive it as much. I had to find that compassion in her. I had to say, you know what? I'm gonna have to chuck that up because I'm gonna be okay as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be okay. I'm just gonna give her that love. You know what I'm saying? That I yearn for her. I want to get that to her. And I watched her struggle with a lot of things. And I still had compassion for my mother. But what I grew up to learn was
street smarts.
Not street smarts, but just that when you're born, and like my mom was a schizophrenic, when you're born, I'm born of a sound mind. I'm born of consciousness. I'm born to people of a person who cannot say that I'm a schizophrenic.
Yeah.
I got some common damn sense.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a blessing within itself, that I'm able to think and comprehend for myself from coming from a mother who's not able to do those things. Yes. You know what I'm saying? My mother could barely read certain things. She can count money, but you sitting at a table with her, and I'm in 5th grade, and I'm like, Mom, what's this word? And you don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing where you just like, you know what? I'm gonna work with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the pain, I'm gonna work with you. I had to do that with my mom, regardless of the things that she had done, regardless of how she treated me. It's the compassion first. When you can get that from God, or get that from your spirit, or get that from within,
force is driving you.
Yeah, that's something that's taking you there. Like, I got you for the walk. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you can't do. Is I got you for the walk. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting you early, but I got you for the walk. So with that, Mom ended up getting more kind of into the streets. And that's how I end up, to me, really, really, really being with my grandmother. Okay. And my grandmother was of sound mind, a spiritual woman. How old was you when you went to your grandmother's? I was more like, I think they went through a little battle thing, you know, but to make a long story short, when I really, really got the chance to stay with Mom was when I got sick. My mom was bouncing around doing the most, and she used to say these words to me all the time because I used to watch her doing so much, and I just was like, I had to say this woman. We went through fires, we went through a lot of different things, but the one thing that stuck to me the most with her was she was like, you got to get yours because I got mine. Mm-hmm. That was just one thing that I just, as a kid, I couldn't get that. You know what I'm saying? It's like looking at a child and just be like, you know, you need some shoes, you better get yours because I got mine. You know what I'm saying? The little kid like, well, where the hell do I get shoes from? You know what I'm saying? Because you're the one that provide them. You know what I'm saying? So right then and there.
So what did that type of upbringing lead you into? Because one thing we want to make sure the audience understand that no matter, and then this is your story, but no matter what you have gone through, you made it out with the sound mind and being able to be in this position of peace.
Well, it takes time to do that.
Was the times in your younger days where you were not put together or even operate?
All of that, but that's when I got with Granny, and my grandmother was my stability. That was the woman that when I got with my grandmother from my mom, causing me to be really sick and to the point to where I had to be in a hospitalized. That's when Mom, I guess my granny knew, like, I gotta take over, you know. So from that point,
how old were you?
6, because when she said you gotta get yours, I gotta get mine. Because I got mine the next day, I was sick, literally. I was just done for. Because the store, you know, she had me in the wintertime, and she was going through what she was going through, and I had a body. You know, at an early age, you know, I just had a body, you know, and people saw that as something that,
predators.
That they can take advantage of, you know, and having a mother who's street bound and doing things like that, she could see a benefit to that. You know what I'm saying? Look, it is what it is. I do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot. So it was like, okay, I didn't get that. But that stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, damn, what's wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you willing to give me away?
Yeah, like what's wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, or just for a freaking coat. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, what's wrong? And at that moment, that's when I knew I was like, not just 5, but the moments on, I was like, I know I gotta be self-sufficient, but I had to listen to God. I had to listen to the voice. I had to listen to something that was giving me peace when I was going through
so much
turmoil, you know.
So what led you into, like, because I don't want us to stick too far down, like around 5, 6.
No, but
I want to go further because we're over
but
at 8.
Before,
so we got like 30 more minutes.
Okay, before then, losing my guardian, and then when I lost her, that's when I knew that I had to
get out here and get it.
Yeah, it just got to. Being at first still having mom around, at 14, 15, I just knew I was like, I was brought up in a good home with Granny. Raised me, taught me things, shit. At 6, I didn't even know what chicken was, fried chicken. So she taught me those things along the way, food, all that. And I lost that at 14. So I had to grow up. You know what I'm saying? It was like, damn, I was already growing up.
So was you back with mom once?
No, that was street. That was just pure street. After that, it was like bouncing around. Nope, just bouncing around. Just street, just bouncing around. Aunties and them got their own thing going on. Mama got their own thing going on. I'm just in street. And then plus through family, generational things going on. I just think that it was just a trust factor. Family, a lot of families don't know love and compassion and kindness towards each other because a lot of things they were neglected from, you know what I'm saying? So they don't really know how to put that off on a lot of on their family. And that goes through a lot of family, not just mine, but plenty of them.
So how old were you when you started gang banging and selling drugs?
I thought that was a joke as a kid. You find friends in the streets and people of like minds like you, not households like you, but just of like minds, you know what I'm saying? Because some households were good and some households, parents didn't play that shit. And other households, you was free to do what you wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So when you find like minds in the street, you just run. That's your brother. That's your sister. We do things together.
That's what we do.
And that's what we do.
So how were you around that time?
We're going to do that.
Was it around the age when grandmama left?
I was like 15, 16 doing that, gang banging, and I thought it was a joke. I was walking around fighting boys and, doing things with my stepbrothers and sisters, because we did a lot of things to people. We was taught to steal and break in things and break in cars and break in homes and do all that. So that was something that we was just taught, and not knowing that this could be detrimental later on, and I just thought it was a joke. And then after a while, me living in St. Louis and going through the trials and the tribulations in St. Louis from being a teenager and just being a young woman in general, walking roads that you should not be walking as a young lady. And then just in general as a teenager, period. Don't have to be a man or a woman. It's just the roads that you shouldn't be walking because it's not a safe haven to go to. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. You could just fall in line with things, like
lucky ones.
Yeah, I would go into trap houses 15, 16 years old. In my mind, I know I'm not supposed to be there, but I'm smoking weed and I'm chilling with them. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen.
So you comfortable. Yeah. You think you safe.
Anything can happen in there though. You know what I'm saying? The next day, 30 minutes later, you could be laid up doing something. That's you know what I'm saying? Just because you just in there chilling, But I didn't have a safe haven, you know what I'm saying, at that time. And when I found my safe haven was through a relationship. And when I found my safe haven was a place that I would run from the streets to run there.
Was that like around the time when you had your aha moment, the moment that you started to like change?
Oh no, I was a teenager. I was finding myself.
Okay, gotcha.
Finding myself. I was finding myself, but still trying to go inside. You know what I'm saying? Going to a place where I was used to being raised, like with my grandmother. That safe haven was just like that. Okay. So it was like, I can breathe when I run over her. You know what I'm saying? But I still couldn't get the street living out of me. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I take my time and I go out there. But my safe haven never gave up. You know what I'm saying? The safe haven was like, I'm gonna grab you under the wing, you know what I'm saying, and walk you through, you know what I'm saying, but we gonna work it out. And it was hard, you know what I'm saying. I can tell that I was hurt, so I was putting hurt on people, but my adopted mother, she will tell me, she loves me and I'm not, she got my back, she got my back. But what made me grow up was I wanted her to see that I can change, you know what I'm saying. I wanted her to see that your work is not going in vain.
So were you a problem child?
Hell no. I was just learning. No child is a problem child. And that's
what I mean by
too much
child,
to handle for the next person.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've been an advocate for the youth for the past 15, 20 years. So I've ran into children that in the home and around their peers and their family, they were the rough ones. You know, they were the ones that when people see you coming, they like, oh my goodness, here she come. Even mama, like when mothers and fathers and grandparents see them coming, they like, I Lord, please give me peace when this child come in my home.
Them strong-hearted people, though.
What I'm not talking about, you know, who they become. You know, but I'm just saying, even as a child, like as you were a child at one point, you know, you talked about the things that you experienced with your mom, and when you become a teenager, you know, that lingers on and it becomes a part of you, and you start giving it off, maybe. So I'm saying, were you a difficult person to deal with? Because in my mind, as a child, as a teenager, I was cool. You know, I felt like I was very smart. I was very witty. I was one of those children that you can, you know, pretty much look at and say, she real strong. However, I was smart mouth. I had a chip on my shoulder. I had a bad attitude. No. I was running from the world. Okay, no,
so because I did my own thing. Okay. So I didn't.
But I was sneaky.
Yeah, I didn't have a reason to do that to them. You know, my grandmother, before she passed away, I used to take care of her. I watched that lady literally die in front of me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And she told me all the time, she was like, you know, you respect my brothers and you respect my sisters and you do this and you do that. Well. So I was taught very well by my grandmother, you know what I'm saying? But as growing up, being a teenager, from the lack that I found when she died and the road going to that, it wasn't that I was being a problem child. It was that I was already taught. You know, she taught me how to pay bills. She taught me how to clean. She taught me how to do this. She taught me how to cut grass, edge, do all that. So that's not what I need from you. What I need from you is compassion and love, and show me that I am a child, that I don't have to do these things as a kid, that I can finally live. I can finally think about going to school without having to go somewhere, how I'm gonna eat the next day. If I'm gonna steal some clothes, you know what I'm saying, how I'm gonna dress. Oh, I'm gonna wear the finest things, but I'm gonna sell some weed to get it. I'm gonna steal out the mall to get it. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna give me some money, I'm gonna spend it on hustling and doing what I gotta do. I found myself being of an early age, being neglected. You know, so I found the streets, you know, being a girl, being cute, you know, you got a body on you and shit, you know, the men ain't looking at you, you know, you're too young to get a job, you know what I'm saying, because you're a teenager, and nobody trying to hire no 15, 16-year-old, or if you're trying to do a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, I'm so street bound, I don't got time to be doing a 9 to 5. I need my money today because I got to go to sleep tomorrow. I need a place to sleep. You know, I can get a job all day, but where I'm going to sleep at? Yeah. So I have to find older men, you know, older men that found me attractive, older men that
will pay for your life,
that pay for that. You know, hey, you need shoes today. When I sit down in a car, I get shoes, clothes, money. You're not touching me unless I go to the mall. Period. Because
it's safe to say that you made sure that you were taken care of.
I had to. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But was it a good thing? Hell no. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I was just like, I don't want to. I'd rather be a kid. You know what I'm saying? I would have rather been in a household that my parents were so strict on me, and not strict on me, but had boundaries on me. You know what I'm saying? That I was too afraid to do much because I was like, you know, I want to make my parents proud. I wanted that. You know, I wanted the household when people be like, man, look, I will get in trouble for coming in. I'll get in trouble for coming in at 12 o'clock. I'd be like, 12 o'clock? Shit. I'm still walking around at 3. I ain't got no answer to that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do that.
With living, because oftentimes as, you know, children, when you're growing up, the ones that does not have structure really want it.
They're the ones that want it,
but the ones that got it are running from it. And it's a difficult balance. And us as parents, we get an opportunity to see it happening within our own
kids.
Because when you are a structured parent and you're giving your child rules and regulations and things to abide by, they like, I gotta tell you where I'm going. I gotta be in by a certain time.
They don't find no value in that.
My friends doesn't have to do that.
They don't know the value.
My friend mother don't ask. You know, they may not understand the value.
They don't know the value. And laying my mom to rest at an early age, that taught me the value. You know what I'm saying? That taught me the value. But at the same time, I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah, you had to get her and get
Yeah, now being in my 20s, doing the suicidal stuff, you know, I started that early. I started that during early ages because I was walking the road and I just was like, why am I here? You know, have you ever asked yourself or asked the Lord, why am I here? Like you go through so much
why
stuff.
Am I going through all this
like,
stuff?
why in the hell? Like, what did it?
I have to be here for this.
Yeah, like what you put me here for? Like I've been doing this since I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 20. You know, and I used to ask, and I used to be like, what the hell am I doing here? And I used to think that growing up, I was supposed to be the kid that get molested.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be the one that protect my sister from getting molested. I'll take that molestation today. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to go through that tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I endured that because I knew that I was strong enough to endure that. Later on down the line, yeah, it took a toll on me because I was too busy searching still for that love, you know what I'm saying? And not from a man, just from somebody. Just in general that could just take me and just be like,
because you become very lost.
Yeah.
But actually, it's not that you're lost. You were never found to begin with. You never had a platform or foundation that was set up specifically for you to thrive. Mm-hmm. And you had no other choice but to find your way. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can attest to the same thing. So I've been through some of that.
And it's okay. You know,
you become okay. But in those younger ages and even in the 20s, you're not really okay.
You never get over things.
You know, you're kind of a ticking time bomb, you know, and a mess, but you have to put on a good face.
You have to
stick your chest out and let people know I'm good. No, if I'm good, you'll be good, but you really need some type of a covering.
Yeah, you know? a lot. And I needed that.
When did you have like an aha moment, or did you find God at a young
Job
age?
Corps.
Job Corps.
Going to Job Corps. Being my godmother, my adopted mother, she was just like, you just doing the most, you know.
What year did you go to Job Corps?
That was in 2003, 2004.
Oh, okay.
So I was a good 19, 20. And I was
went
just
in 98.
Like, I loved it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's when I found myself.
Yeah.
That's when I knew. Like, and I didn't go here. I made myself go out. Yeah, because I was just like, you know, if I'm gonna do something, then I'm gonna do it. And I ain't finna be going down on no damn good fella. I'm already running with the streets. Yeah. I'm not gonna learn nothing going to school with the streets.
What did you take up a job for?
Clerical at the time, because I couldn't do bricklaying. So I was just like, I'm gonna do clerical, you know, whatever, because that's gonna be beneficial. And at the time I had in my brain that I was gonna run a daycare. So I was just like, I'm gonna get good so I could just run a daycare. I'm just gonna do that so I could just run a daycare. That was just my thing. Because I just grew up like that, you know, loving kids, parents, you know, just seeing babies and just be like, oh, they just the precious because they innocent. Because I didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted that through kids. And I just was like, oh, love them up, you know? So I just had in my mind, like, I'm just going to have a daycare.
So what was the age that you had, like, your awakening, your aha moment to where it made you want to just change and become the woman that we see today? What happened? Like, was there, like, some type of catastrophic event that took place in your life?
My mother passed away.
Okay.
Like, she passed away in 20. I still forget these days, and I still have her right at the house, and I still forget the days. That's how bad the effects can be from pain and then trauma. Like I have her urn literally in the living room, and I couldn't even tell you if it was 2014 or 2016. Gotcha. I just know in between her, I was just
the moment.
It was the moment, and when I had that moment, it was just like I was 30, you know, like 30, because I'm 37 now. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was just like, this woman is here, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who just could not really give me the time of day. You know what I'm saying? But I would give her all the love that I can give her. You know what I'm saying? She was sick then. She just wouldn't give me the time of day. She'll run away from me. She knew who I was completely. She just like, that girl is she knew. She was like, you strong at it. You should have been a boy because you was just she seen something in me that she just couldn't understand what it was. Like, why are you still this kind of person? You know what I'm saying? After all the stuff you've been through, you still this person.
You wasn't broken.
Yeah. And mom, before she passed away, she sat down and that's what made me sit down and think. And I did drugs, you know what I'm saying, the whole nine, you know, was just turn it up, you know, turn it up. And that day, she sat down and she was just like, why do you love me? And I looked at her in her face and it was a puzzling question. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, she wants to know about my love. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then right then and there, that let me know that out of all of the stuff that you can ever have been through all these years, you know for a fact that will love you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know it's unconditional love. And she questioned that. Why do you love me? You know what I'm saying? Because she knew all the shit that I've done. You know, this one right here, she takes up for me. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been that way. And I do that because I try to teach other people along the way. Just because your parent had you and brought you through the storm with you or whatever, God has given you a sound mind and body to accomplish anything that you could work through. You know, it's going to be times where it be banging you in your damn head and you don't know. You may be doing drugs. You may be sexing all over the place, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But eventually, when he sits you down and find time to talk to you, when you find time to freaking listen because they're always talking to you. When you find time to listen, then that's when things start changing, you know? Mm-hmm. So I found that to be a blessing within itself, you know? And from that point on, I was just like, I got to do right. You know what I'm saying? I got to do right. I've done my job, you know what I'm saying, with taking care of my mom, my granny. I laid them to rest, laid them down. That shit hurt like hell, you know what I'm saying? But now I got to stand up and give them something because they didn't taught me how to be strong. I slept in the alleys with my mom, you know what I'm saying? So I know how to be strong, you know what I'm saying? I slept and woke up to the point to where I can save her life, you know what I'm saying? To the point where I've saved her life several times, you know what I'm saying? So I had to save mine. You know what I'm saying? That past trauma and that hate and that anger and all that, they ain't gonna get you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find self. And that's why I be trying to, is it beyond the story? You know what I'm saying? Find the strength in that story. You know what I'm saying? Find that point where you can say, damn, I kind of been through some things, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still here.
And the beauty about going through things and making it through is that once you get through, you don't even remember the hardship of how it felt when you was going through.
Yeah, like someone just
it's like childbirth. Mm-hmm. You know, you had that baby, you during the time that you were travailing, which is the pushing out, the birthing process. You're pushing that baby out. That means you're in pain, you're being ripped apart, your cervix and stuff is being stretched open, and you're enduring some extreme pain. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're coming up through life and you start going through whatever life is going to take you through, good, bad, and indifferent, you go through it. And after it's over, you know, be it whether you were raped and molested, whether you had to
sell drugs, steal food,
get jumped by gangs, or whatever it is that you had to endure, you know, drive-by shootings. You know, we come from the same time. We come from the 80s and 90s. There were tons of drive-by shootings. There was a lot of people when I was growing up.
I was losing friends at 12 and 13. Like what they going through now, we was burying our friends at 11, 12, 13 years old.
It was constantly somebody getting killed in a drive-by shooting. Just like that. They one day you hear it and then you're gone, like UGK. Like literally one day you hear and the next day you're gone. So once you get through those hard processes, once it's over, you don't remember like the eerie feeling that you had when you were experiencing
that deep feeling.
Yeah, you know? And it's like you just said, you said I kind of went through some things when we can't really downplay what you went through because that birthed forward the woman that we have today.
I don't regret a lot.
So tell me about Bonni Cattiva now.
This word,
you're a businesswoman.
Yeah, it took me time to get there. It took me time.
That's okay, but you made it. You made it. Tell us about your ventures. Like, you own a daycare.
Yes, I own Open Arms Home Daycare.
Okay, tell us about Open Arms.
That's that's my baby. You know, that's my
because
baby.
You said that you had talked about back when you went to Job Corps that you said
that I was gonna do it.
And
you know what I'm saying? But it took me a minute because I went through the drugs and the fightings and all that. But I still kept that goal, and I still had a safe haven.
And now you did.
Yeah, and I had my mom, you know, my adopted mom. She was always like in my ear. Like I could tell her things, and then she would just be like, you know, well, that's the part of living. You know, she was just real acceptive and not judgmental.
Yes.
And that's what kept me going. If I can get through a day listening to her word and her not judge me but walk me through it and keep God in my ear and keep doing what I'm doing, then I will keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? It will be times where I'll be like, oh child, I know I am wearing this woman thin. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I be sick of myself sometimes, you know. But then at the end of the day, I look back and you be like, I want to make that woman proud. You know what I'm saying? I want to make myself proud. I come from the streets. You know what I'm saying? I come from straight Walnut Park area, dirty, you know what I'm saying? Gang banging and all this stuff.
I'm coming a little closer to the camera, you guys. Hey, everybody. We have some comments on both YouTube and Facebook. So we want to go ahead and start asking or answering questions that anybody may have. And just basically reading some comments before we get off of here, because we only have so long that we're on this live. So we want to go ahead and start reading through some things. For one, I see a lot of your friends.
That's family. I have family. Facebook family. They show me love. They love me.
They definitely love you. So let's read a little bit of this. Aya TK says, yes, I'm here for authentically authentic.
That's my girl.
She said, that's my friend. She's a survivor and a testament of strength. See, these people know you. Fawn Bailey says, my friend is so strong and she has a story to tell. I hope people are tuning in. She also says, oh, my 5 years old, strong baby girl.
Okay.
With those responsibilities, you didn't have time to be a child. Yeah. A lot of things you spoke on. But there's a lot of people that go through this. So that's one of the reasons why I was so excited about having Bonni on, because you know, we talk to people that have experience, and not even have, that are going through things like 19, 18, 19, 20, 21, got their own apartment, they in their own place, they got rats, roaches, they don't cook, they don't clean, they sell their food stamps, they kids are at what was the place when I was growing up and I had my first baby.
They still got it.
They had, when I had my first baby, it was a little shelter. You take your kids for the weekend, you know. It was a little place where you take them for 24 hours and you go you hang out at the club, you know. Yep. But at the same time, those are young people that need to hear our stories. They need to know that you may have fell down, but you did not fail, and all is really well. And so the reason why I kept trying to pull certain things from you, Bonni,
is learning.
Is because I really want the young people and the older women that's trapped in their situations to know that you can get out. There is a way out of whatever it is that you're currently going through, no matter how detrimental it is.
Yeah, I know with Bonni, I just been wanting you guys to know this from like the bottom of my heart. Like, regardless of the ways of the world, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna take time. And I'm talking to people that's 15, 16, 17, 18, all y'all that's the 20s, 30s, who's still trying to find themselves. I'm still trying to find myself.
It's a constant
ain't nothing.
Hey,
I ain't got nothing in the bag yet. You know what I'm saying? But learning myself. Every day I get up and I still try to learn where I'm going, my likes, my dislikes, you know, how I can teach myself, you know. I went to criminal justice and graduated with an associate's for criminal justice. Why? Because I wanted to teach the streets. I wanted my friends to be able to, the gang bangers and the drug dealers, and I wanted to give them information too, to say, you know what, well, you can do that. If you ain't found nothing else to do with your life, go to criminal justice. It's easy. We can be cops. We can learn anything, the background, anything with that. You know, so it was something that I learned beyond the streets. I wanted to show them with that too. When I started the daycare, it was something that I knew that was a passion within me. And it was something that I knew that I had. But with Bonni Cattiva, my product line, I did that for the streets. I did that for the people who was just like me, who couldn't find their way, who didn't know their way, who was drugging and trying to find ways to get out, finding other people, you know, walking alone, sleeping alone, you know, just moving around. I did that because I said, you know what, eventually I want people to see that anything that you got in your mind, in your heart, you can do that. You can make it, you can build it, you can create it. Bonni Cattiva is an innovator, a creator, a motivator. I'm big baby. I am bold. You know, I'm fierce. You know, I'm a force, like my mama say, a force to be reckoned with. Yeah. And you have to think about yourself being that way too, because at the end of the day, the streets will eat you up. The streets will eat you up. And if you have
the funny thing is they run to it.
Yeah, and if you got structure, you are a child that got some structure. You better hold on to that. Yeah. You got a parent who love you, who fight for you, who put clothes on your back, feed you, love anything under the sun, tell you stuff that you should know about the streets. You hold on to that.
Fawn Bailey says there is a way to get out of any situation.
Anything.
It may be hard, but it will take time and you will rejoice.
Yeah, you got to. Don't run away from it. You know, you got to grasp onto it. My past is something that I learned from, because at the end of the day, if it was somebody that came to me that needed a hug, I hug bums. I take care of them. I feed them. I do all that because I've been there too. Yeah. So it's something that I want to give back. It's not that I'm just going to endure all of it and just bottle it in and just be like, oh, that was the trial. No, I want to give that back to you. You know, so I want y'all to see that.
Let's recap, Bonni, while we're rolling up on this last few minutes of the show. Let's do a recap. So as a child, you went through homelessness. You ate out of trash cans.
No. I was just homeless, and we lived through certain things, you know. I can say in the 80s and 90s, you lived through the drug pandemic. Yeah. You know, so we survived the drug pandemic at that time. Yeah. You know, the race of survival, that's how I would like to put that. Okay. You know, we survived that part.
Okay.
You know?
So you went through those things. You went through possibly being sold for
that's teenage years, you know,
but it still happens.
Yeah, that's the things people go through those things. Yeah.
So you survived that. You survived gang banging, drug use,
suicide,
dropping out of school,
all of
suicide, and that brought you to the woman that you are today, victorious, still standing, committed to making a change,
still working
towards ultimate goal.
You know, I like to tell people that, you know, because you can look at a person and you can see a person and be like, that person is cute, that person got life going on.
We actually just seen that here in St. Louis today, not today, a couple days ago. You know, rest in peace to the Burnses, the Kiana Burns and Ronell Burns. Yeah. We actually just seen, we don't really know everything that happened, but from what we have heard, we heard that it was a murder suicide. I don't want to get into any of it at all because that's not my business. I'm just saying that you never know from the way a person looks and carry themselves what they are truly experiencing, what's going on in their mind, what's really going on with their heart. Oftentimes we get in front of people and we save face by keeping a smile on our face, keep our makeup done as ladies with our lashes, and we bat them and we put that little cat on, and you think all is well. All in all, we have suicidal thoughts, homicidal thoughts. We have thoughts of wanting to do something to somebody in some way or even ourselves, and the general public will never be able to look at us and know. That's why I believe therapy is so extremely important. Having a safe space and an outlet not just a friend. Because let's just be honest, your friends are not your therapists. They can't give you information and help you move forward with the rest of your life and have coping mechanisms to defeat whatever it is you're going through. Having a prayer partner is real cool, but to go to a professional that can help you work through some of the things and help you cope with and help you deal with, and even sometimes when you gone through some things as a kid and you were not unable to protect yourself, there was somebody who was supposed to, protect you, and perhaps they failed at doing their job. Even if you are still connected to that person and don't want to admit that that person failed at doing their job at that time, being with a therapist can help you work through it so that perhaps you never have to experience what we in St. Louis and even Atlanta just seen happen this past week with the Burns's tragic loss, and they are not the only ones, but I definitely push and I advocate for therapy because I've been in therapy for a year and a half and I've gone through some of the same things. I took
therapy about good 8 years now.
And I refuse, like my therapist has been trying to break up with me for the past year. And I'm like, listen, literally our last session, she said, you're doing so well. I think this, what do you think about discharge? And I'm like,
me too.
I wouldn't let her because I say, let me tell you, I'm good today. But what happens next week when I'm having a full-on meltdown and I ain't got you? I need you to stay on my roster, right? So, Bonni Cattiva, this woman has experienced a lot of hardships in her life, and she was a strong little lady. Even one of your ladies up here said, my wild child all grown up and then glued up. Yeah, your face. It says you must face your demons and defeat them. And she has proven that she has faced them. She's proven that she has went beyond the call of duty to make sure that she became something in life. And she is out here spreading her knowledge of life and living and what she's experienced and how she was able to come over the humps of life, get through the many situations that she has been through, and just strive for a better way, a new day.
And I'm here for other people, y'all, because, what's life without giving love or showing kindness to the next person? We all are struggling. We all go through so much.
Yes.
We all have a little slight depression, a little stress,
yes,
all of that. So my message before I go is just learn to find love in people. Learn to find compassion in people.
Yes.
And if people are not rowing your boat, or if people are being a negative energy or whatever, learn how to separate yourself from that, because that ain't gonna do nothing but drag you down and keep you in the depths where you don't want to be at. So it's just life. I don't see it no more as a trial. I just see it as a learning life road, and it's beautiful when you're not trying to rush it or speed it up. Time in itself gonna speed up. It's gonna do its own thing. But don't rush your life and don't rush your time, and be appreciative of what you have. If you never did suicide or tried to commit it or none of that, be appreciative of that, because that's a blessing in itself. Know that if you listen, open up your ears, take time out to breathe, you will find God's strength to be able to move through whatever it is that you need to move through. I'm a witness to that, and I'm also an open arm to that for ones who are in need of that. If you're afraid of something, call me. I'm gonna give you some love.
Okay? I know that's right. Let's read the last of these few comments before we get off of here. Fawn Bailey says, we as Black people need to start using therapy. We cannot keep pain built up inside of us like that. It will explode eventually. Mm-hmm. Miss Thelma says, be proud and move beyond your faults and know that your future is not defined by it. I know that's right. You ladies are a testament to the future potential. Keep sharing. Yes, and that's why we're here. She is a very loving young lady, and that will continue to be successful in her life. Yes, she will. She actually is a joy and brings light wherever she goes. She can't help it.
It's like,
she can't help
I really be wanting to bounce out my seat. Like, I'm trying, but if I had my shoes, I would be literally on y'all right now. Like, just give me some love.
Give me some love. And so we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap everything up. But I'm so glad to have you on the show today, Miss Bonni.
Me too. I'm glad
she is a testament of how you can go. We want to give you some plug-ins. So she has what's the name of your daycare?
Open Arms Home Daycare.
Open Arms Home Daycare.
Facebook. I have a page, Open Arms Home Daycare. And I also have Bonni Cattiva skin products. I actually bought you some too, so you can see some too. We'll do that another time, I guess, because look, the excitement will have us on here. Okay. Yes. So it's Bonni Cattiva products. Okay. And it's on Facebook just as well, and on Instagram. I have a Shopify page, but you can find that on Facebook. You can go ahead and get the product so we can show the people what you have. And I'm gonna go ahead and read about next week's guest. This will be a little bit of encouragement to my hood brothers and sisters. I want y'all to see that you can do this and make something out yourself too. Hold on, let me go get it. So she said it's a little bit of encouragement for people that come through the struggle, And it's a wonderful thing, because just because you made it out of the struggle do not mean you are not made out. Just because you're going through a struggle does not mean you will not come out on the other side. Right. And God has the ability to clean you up. I don't care how dirty, I don't care how low down, I don't care how much you've experienced. God can take anything that is made in the mud and clean it off and make it shine brighter than a diamond. That's why I love God, because he is one that can restore you mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically. He can do things. He can reach depths of you that man cannot reach. Let's see what you got in this box. Okay, this is Bonni Cattiva's product. Okay. I design, produce, make my own stuff, y'all. So okay, let's see what you got. Prepare with me. Okay, here you go. This is a few of them. This is my skin oil. Okay, this is a moisturizing body cocktail. Yes. Let's get this scene up here. All natural. It's everything that you can dream of. I love it, you guys. And then we have, thank you so much. I'm loving this. This is a root oil for your hair. It grows your hair. I use my own products. I don't go to the store and buy a lot, but if you're looking for your hair products, that for edges and breakouts and alopecia and dryness, there you go. It grows your hair. Thank you. Okay, then we have our Grapefruit and Lemongrass Rejuvenation Body Salt. That's one of many. Okay, so she has a body salt line, you guys. Check her out. It's a rejuvenating body salt. That's for all you working people. Your muscles be sore, bad circulation, you can't rest and you need to relax. Get rid of some toxins. Okay, because that's what I do. Get rid of toxins. And then we have moisturizing beard cocktail. I know. I be trying to keep my men right. I know that's right. I love my men. I just be trying to get y'all right, because I be seeing all them shabby beards and they be dry. And I just be like, let me come up with something that's going to help. Listen, I got something for you. My husband actually just said, yesterday, my husband just said, I need some beard oil. And I said, I'm going to get you some beard oil. And I had no idea in this box would contain some beard oil. So look at how everything ended up working itself on out. So we're going to get ready to prepare to get on out here. But I want you guys to tune in next week at 7 p.m. on Thursday. Every Thursday, Reality Talk with Feva Daniels will air at 7 p.m. Next week, we will be talking to Sarah Mae Brown. She is the owner of Destiny Over Diagnosis. We will be talking about her and her struggles with reading and comprehension, dyslexia, people pleasing, and epilepsy, and how she made it through that and launched Destiny Over Diagnosis, finding her superpower, healing her hurt. She also is a life coach, a motivational speaker, and she has a big event coming up at the end of this month. So we want to tune in next Thursday at 7 p.m. for Sarah Mae Brown, the owner of Destiny Over Diagnosis. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you so much, Miss Bonni, for being on the show. It was really, really well needed. The Almighty made this possible. Yes. And I'm very grateful for that. Yes. I used to have dreams about it, visions, dark sweats, And now today,
You
it
able to
was
get it
definitely
out.
able to do what it needs to do.
Well, let me
New
tell you guys,
beginnings.
new beginnings. And
Okay.
today is 11/11. Let me share something with you guys. Anytime you have great things in store, anytime you have wonderful things that you're aiming towards, the enemy will try to come in like a flood and do anything to stop it. So whatever it is that you're aiming towards, if it gets really hard and the increased tension really goes there, if it's not something that's going to destroy you, it is going to make you. So keep going. Do not give up. Hold your head up high, poke your chest out, do it scared, do it with your knees trembling. The words say walk out your own salvation in fear and trembling. That means no matter how hard it get, you are the one that got to walk it out. Your mama can't save you, your sister can't save you, your pastor can't save you, your grandmama can't save you.
And write it down.
The Lord is the only one that can. You got to walk that thing out in fear and in trembling. So I thank you guys for coming on today and hanging out with me and Miss Bonni. Blessings to you too. She said the products are really good, so we're gonna try these products. We're gonna test them out and see what it's about. And I really appreciate you guys coming on and watching. And I thank you guys all the more for entrusting me to help get your story out. If you guys are looking to tell your story, if you guys have been through, when I say been through, I don't listen. You don't have to sugarcoat yourself. Whatever it is that you've been through, trust me, you are a light for the world to see. Someone is currently going through some things that you have made it past. And if you can't tell your story, they won't know that they can get through it too. So I admonish whoever it is that wants to be as courageous as Miss Bonni Cattiva and want to come on and share your story, show your pain, show your hurt. And then we're going to talk about how blessed you are, how amazing things have come, how amazing your life has become in spite of. Come on out. I want you guys to inbox us, email us at realitytalk314 at gmail.com, or even just hop in the comment thread. We will be responding. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks.